Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled Pretty Black Women Are Mad That Men Are No Longer Paying for Dates or Bills. Let's get right into it.
This woman who knows that I give relationship advice, she asked me if my man lost his job, and he is still without work, for 6+ months or whatever, would I leave him? I said yes. I said, because one thing I know is McDonald's is always hiring. She said, well, no, if he's, searching for another job in his career field, it's just taking a little bit long, or his career field isn't hiring right now, but he is actively searching. Would you leave him? I said, he been searching for a job for 6 months? I said, yeah. Yeah. I said, because let's be real. Although McDonald's may not be the ideal job, and it may not be able to pay all my bills, it can still pay the lights, water, and gas, which is still 3 bills that needs to be paid. There is no way in hell that any man of mine will sit on his ass and watch me pay the bills in our household for 6 months straight. There is some kind of money you can't be making. If you truly wanted to help the woman, there is something you could be doing. Come to find out, she was asking me that because that was her scenario. So she was asking me what would I do if I was in her shoes. I said, I wouldn't even entertain a man who's even comfortable with watching me pay the bills for 6 months. I said, so seeing as that this is your situation, that's a question you got to ask yourself. Because like I said, whatever career field that he's used to being in provided income. And so can a lot of other jobs. It may not provide as much income, but the household is still ran off income. And you need to get your ass out there and go find some, or don't come back to my household. And that's just how I feel. Like I said, I'm only dating men with a 100% mindset. That's it. So would I leave a man after 6 months without working? Honey, I'm gone. I'm out of there.
Yeah, you huffing and puffing, girl. Take a breath. Take it easy, girl. We understand you won't date a man that can't pay 100%. We get it. But would a man who can pay 100% date you? That's the real question. See, it's okay to have standards, and everybody got standards. But what about if do your standards match the standards of the person you want? Because I could pay 100% of the bills, and I'll tell you what, I ain't taking this. And if women are so upset to pay the bills by themselves for 6 months, how should we feel? And y'all be doing that, and they ain't trying to, if you get with a girl, you take care of her long term, she might stop sleeping with you, using that as a way to manipulate you. Schopenhauer once said that women have 3 ways of dealing with men because they don't have power, right? They can't control men with brute force. So they control them with manipulation, beauty, and emotional influence. They can try to make you mad and make you upset. They're going to try to shame us. You ain't shaming me, girl. Anyway, thankfully, not everyone agrees with her, right? I found 2 women that actually pushed back against what she said. Here's one girl, and we're going to respond to her.
I have to talk about this while it's just fresh on my brain. There was a post on Instagram that was like, if I mention that I'm about to get my hair done, my nails done, my lashes done, and I don't see an Apple Pay or a Cash App Zelle sent to my phone, then he's not my type. I don't care how bad that sounds. And this is just my unpopular opinion. Women are so entitled nowadays to a man's money, and I think it's absolutely crazy. The fact that you feel like a man is obligated to take care of your maintenance is just crazy to me, because my thing is, as a woman, I just feel like with or without a man, you should be able to handle your own. How was it getting done before he came into the picture? You should not be depending on a man's money to be able to take care of yourself. And y'all get mad and want to cut them off when they don't send you no bread. But baby, you probably just met him. On top of that, y'all probably just exchanged numbers less than 24 hours ago, and you already got your hand out. Now, if a man wants to offer, because there's a difference. If a man wants to offer to pay for these things, for you, then okay, cool. But the fact that nowadays y'all are so gun-ho to just be like, give me your money because I'm about to go get my nails done, it's crazy to me. Y'all may not like it. I probably really don't care. But I'm just saying, I'm tired of seeing it. That's just it. I have to talk about...
I like what she's saying. She's tired of seeing it. She don't even want men to pay for the maintenance. Imagine your bills. Remember, the girl in the prior video, let me just, they're going to show her face of the defender again, because she said, oh, I'm a dating coach. This girl's a dating coach. Tashi Gray is a dating coach, okay? And she's telling women to leave men that can't pay the bills. If he can't pay the bills for the last 6 months, he better get out my house. Get out my house. Get out your house. What? So only beta men will be living with a girl like this, because if you got to be beta to move in with a chick. You got to be beta to move in with a chick. If you moving in with a chick, you beta, though. I'm telling you. You might not want to hear from me. I'm not saying you a complete bitch, but I'm saying you beta. Okay? Because that means you got to serve her now. She is your God. She is your landlord. Okay, tenant? Okay? Be careful out there, tenant. Anyway, I got another girl who has another opinion on this. I agree with what she's saying, and she's a pretty black woman, okay? All these dating coaches, okay? Okay, let's see what she has to say, and we'll respond to it.
Babe, I hate to be the one to tell you, but I have to because I'm your coach. The reason why you can't get guys to take you out and pay for dates is because you lack confidence. Now, before you go beating yourself up, it makes sense. I understand. We all been there. But you have to carry yourself like you're that girl. Now, I know some of y'all get in here talking about, oh, but what about looks, this, that, and the third? Those can be improved right alongside your confidence. Because trust me, baby, it's a lot of beautiful girls who sitting in a room not going on any dates. Now, the easiest, fastest way to gain your confidence is to create an alter ego. Your alter ego is you being that girl that has guys wrapped around your finger. Yes, your looks are a part of it, but it's not the end all be all. It's the energy you carry. And trust me, baby, the energy can be learned. And congratulations to the girlies who got the ebook for free within the first 24 hours.
So she's selling something. She's selling swag. Okay, yeah, you got to have them wrapped around your finger. Again, all these women, and even though she agreed initially that, you got to have confidence, you got to be that girl. Okay, so you got to offer something to what she's saying. But still, manipulation is the way. So if you're a man, you got to understand that if you're going to date a girl in modern times, what's going to happen is she's going to try to see if you measure up to her standards. And you're going to spend your whole time trying to see if you measure up. And you never had any standards for her. What about her? Do you want her just to be beautiful? Like, what's the guiding principles of dating for you? And this is why I love being Christian. This is why I love having faith in God, because he already told me what to do. He already told me what a perfect wife would be like. Okay, and she's not no lazy girl. She works hard for her family. Proverbs 31 woman, we all point to, as Christians in the Bible, for the perfect wife. And guess what? It's a long list. God made a laundry list, okay, for the perfect wife. Now, if you don't follow what the perfect wife is in the Bible, you be following what we call the Jezebel spirit. A lot of people are like, oh my God, so Jezebel, I don't got the Jezebel spirit. People don't even understand who Jezebel was. Let me go into a description of who Jezebel was. Jezebel was the queen of Israel. Yeah, the wicked, evil queen of Israel who tried to emasculate her husband, King Ahab. It's written like that. Anyway, King Ahab. Long story short, she was overtaken because she tried to overtake his throne. She ended up being overtaken. They literally threw her out of a window to her death. This is a story in the Bible. Threw her out of the window. This evil, wicked woman was thrown out of a window to her death. And when she literally reached the bottom, when she really smacked the floor, thrown out the window, landed on the ground, her body was eaten by dogs. Her body was eaten by dogs, thrown out of a window, fell to her death, and then her body was eaten by dogs. Okay? So if you're going to have the Jezebel spirit, there's wages for that. The wages for Jezebel spirit is to end up like Jezebel, the evil wicked witch. And she reigned for a little bit. I believe they said she reigned for 10 years. Because like the whole situation, I'm not trying to get too deep into it, but it's kind of really a guide on how you can live your life, a guiding principle of how to live your life. Because here's a scenario where we had a weak king of Israel, King Ahab, who literally had an overbearing wife that would control him and manipulate him. She didn't have any real power, so her power was through him and through his kingdom. And then she was able to overtake his kingdom for 10 years, because I think he got killed or something in battle, whatever. He was a weak dude, he got killed in battle. And like I said, God's wrath, man. God has, he had her thrown out of a window to her death and eaten by dogs. So look, it's not worth being a Jezebel, right? And the Jezebel spirit is trying to be a seductress, trying to control man, no respect for authority. You want to rearrange God's divine order. People don't understand that. And then, it's funny because I talk about the Bible, but people say, don't talk about the Bible because it's religious. The Bible is not a book about religion. And I want people to really understand it. The first religion in the Bible contains religion, right? But it's not a book about religion. The very first book in the Bible, in Genesis, chapter 3, the very first religion was created. And it was created by women. This is in the book. God said, if you don't read the entire book, if you just read the beginning, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know. Right there in Genesis, you just read the first chapter, you'll see everything you need to know. First couple chapters. And the serpent was talking to Eve and was telling Eve, don't worry, you're not going to die because God told you you're going to die if you eat from the tree of good and evil. That's the wages. You want to eat from this tree? There's a cost. You must die. Okay? She ran into the serpent. The serpent said, you ain't going to die. In fact, if you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you'll become more like God. And that's the religious concept. That if do what I tell you, if you do this, you become more like God. Don't listen to the word. Don't read the word. Don't follow the word. If you do what I tell you, you become more like God. Okay? So it tells you what good and evil is. And tells that, oh yeah, if you sin, you won't die. You won't die. But he was wrong. He was wrong. The serpent was wrong. Eve actually and Adam very much did die. They could have lived for eternity in the Garden of Eden nude without knowing they were nude, but they had to eat from that tree. And this is why women have painful childbirth and periods ever since. Thank Eve, the woman who created the first religion. And it's kind of like an analogy of what's going to happen if people follow religions, these false doctrines. God never established religion. God established a kingdom. People got to think about the kingdom. So Matthew 6:33 says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all things will be given unto thee. All things. Seek first the kingdom of God. They didn't say go seek first the Christian church. Go seek first. They talk about church. They talk about it. But the first thing you must seek is the kingdom of God. What is the kingdom of God? I could talk about that more in detail, but the whole point about this is that women have went one way. We're not going to pay for it anymore. We decided that, you know what? I'm not going to fund your life, fund your lifestyle. We're going to go a different way because you are not submitted to God. You're not submitted to Christ. You're submitted to the devil. You're submitted to the Jezebel spirit. And we ain't nobody trying to marry and take care of no Jezebel. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you over there.